Hello, everyone. My name is Beth Green, otherwise known as Granny Rocks, and this is Lighting the Way. And as you may notice, still in bed. I was last week, and I still am this week, and I don't know when this is ever going to end. Nevertheless, I am here, and so are my friends who are going to be joining me on the show a little bit later. So again, I wasn't able to make a graphic about the topic, but I'm going to tell you all about it. And here it is. Why are some people afraid of spiritual power? And the clue is that it's not about religion. Well, lots of people are afraid of spirituality because they associate with religion and they may have had some bad experiences, but that's not what I'm talking about. So, not this I'm taking this straight off the description of the show tonight. Not the same as religion, which is a collection of beliefs and practices. Spiritual power is the inner strength derived from connecting to something greater than ourselves, and it is in direct conflict with the ego. The ego looks for power over people, circumstances, and reality. Spiritual power seeks virtue, compassion, and transcendence. Couldn't be more different. So, why would so many people be afraid of spiritual power? Let's talk about that tonight and how it relates to the crisis in our world today, because it's very, very relevant. So, I would like to welcome all of those who are coming on Facebook and YouTube. If you are on my personal Facebook page, I would suggest you go onto the public page so that if you leave a comment, that I will see it. If it's because if it's on my personal page, I won't see it while I'm doing the show, but I'll see it later. Anyway, guys, a lot of people don't like religion or are afraid of it, and some are deep believers. They may have had bad experiences. They may have found that they may have been molested by a priest, or they may have been felt the hierarchy and paternalism of the old time Jewish religion. They they might not have liked all the rules and regulations. They didn't want to feel guilty if they got divorced or had an abortion, all of that. So that's all about beliefs. But I am talking about spiritual power. See, as I described it here, it's the inner strength you get from connecting to something greater than yourself. You can feel it if you go out and you see a beautiful sky, you see stars in the sky, you feel connected to something greater yourself, and it's like, ah, yes. And I feel that power, or the ocean or the river, or just some piece of music that transports you to another dimension. Spiritual power, again, I'm going to tell you what it isn't. It's not being psychic. It's not having control. It's not being Svengali, who is controlling everybody around them through his powers. It has nothing to do with any of that. It's not about having power. It's not about having power over reality. It has nothing to do with having power over people. It doesn't mean you can manifest lamb chops by thinking the word 10 times. That is not spiritual power. Here is Amy. Hi, Beth. Thank you for presenting a show even from bed. It's a great topic, too. Thank you. And she sent some kisses, and we'll send them back. Thank you so much, Amy. So, so then, if it's not all this, what's it good for? Well, it's good for being a deeply healed and evolved and transformed version of yourself. It's all about being connected to yourself in a deep way. Now, for example, when I mentioned compassion, see, compassion isn't sympathy, isn't about, oh, I feel so sorry for you. You just lost your husband, your leg, your tooth. On the contrary, it's not any of those things. But compassion is connecting to what's really going on for someone. It's like deep understanding. Spiritual power gives us the ability to understand others and ourselves because we're not busy defending ourselves and protecting ourselves and trying to puff ourselves up and all of that stuff. See, that's the work of the ego. Now, let's take a look at the ego, why these are in conflict, and why I think this is important. Well, the ego is all about me. It's not about connecting to something greater than myself, being in humility. It's all about, ooh, my power, my money, my looks, my position in society, my home, even though I love my home, all of those things. It's all about me. The ego is all about protecting me. That's its job. I understand it. I'm not criticizing it for it, but some of us are totally dominated by it, such as the person who is the leader of the free world right now is completely dominated by his ego and how he looks to people and being praised and all of that stuff. So there is one example, but we all have it, guys. We all have that ego that makes us so incredibly important. And we are taught from the earliest days to be in our egos. Now, I've talked before about how we are born with ego because it's all about self preservation. We have to cry to let people know we're hungry. Yes, I have an individual existence and I need to feel it. But we are so out of whack with this ego thing. We are so dominated by it that we can't think past it. It's like, oh, I'm going to take care of me, myself, and I. So now, not only do we have this experience from childhood where we're competing with everybody for the attention of mommy and daddy and for their scarce resources in the house, but we are taught it verbally. For example, look out for number one. I'm looking out for number one. Okay. So that's an example of being told that you should be doing that that's the way you should be. God helps those who help themselves. I think that's very interesting. Now, that's true. I mean, we have to make some kind of an effort, but it's more than that. It's like, go out there and win, win, win. If you're on the baseball team or the football team, get that scholarship, win that competition, win, win, win. We are told that that's the way to be. You know, you grow up and you're told that it's really important that you study hard so that you can make a living, not so that you can make a contribution to society. Nobody says, or very few, I'm not saying nobody, very few people, parents will tell you that you should be looking for something that satisfies your soul and helps the planet. You know what I mean? No, and they're perfectly well-meaning, but this is what they do. So, the ego is in direct conflict with our spirituality and our spiritual power, because our spiritual power is there to make us compassionate, have understanding of ourselves, understanding of everyone, be virtuous. And by virtuous, I don't mean like looking virtuous, I mean really caring, being compassionate, and being connected to something greater than ourselves, even realizing that there's something more important than we are, which is very hard to remember, especially when you're in bed and can't get out and have to be very dependent on other people. So we carry both in our heads and they conflict. Why do they conflict? Let's say you're being trained to go for it, to follow your dream because it's going to make you happy and satisfy you. Even something that sounds spiritual, like follow your dream or whatever, can be totally ego. It's like, oh, yes, my dream is to be a famous blip, blop, or blurb. And that is following my dream into fame and success and money and all of that stuff. That's not exactly what I mean by spirituality and spiritual power. So let's say we have that urge to do that. At the same time, We have heard through so many spiritual, so-called spiritual things or real spiritual things or religion that we should be kind and caring and love thy neighbor as thyself. Haven't we heard that? Love thy neighbor as thyself. Do you think we're practicing that with our undocumented immigrants? Are we practicing that with the people in the Caribbean who are being bombed by the United States without any proof that they're doing anything? No, you see, there is a problem here. The problem is we are taught to look like we are virtuous, to look compassionate, to look spiritual. That's very important, but not be spiritual or be compassionate. We don't even know how to do it. We're so fraught with fear and anxiety in an extremely uncertain world and an extremely uncertain time. See, it's not easy to worry about other people when you're in such despair and so worried about yourself and your children and what your income is going to be like and the government shutdown and the increase in the cost of the Affordable Care Act and all of that, where people are really frightened of the lack of security. And now they're saying, oh, Social Security is going to run out and all of that. So we're going to say, oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. I'm going to worry about those people in India, right? No, I'm going to worry about myself. You see, so it's very hard in this world to actually practice a real concern for other people because we feel so insecure in our actual lives. So, and we have this fight within ourselves between the voice that tells us that we are supposed to be virtuous and we're supposed to be spiritual, but at the same time, we've got to take care of number one. And if it's not just number one, we get to, if we're really good, we get to take care of our families and our children, maybe our town and our community, certainly not our nation, certainly not those other people out there who don't look like us. So the inner conflict that we carry about this is very profound. And we don't even realize how much it impacts our spiritual power because our spiritual power is stolen by the constant anxiety over our survival. And the ego is all about survival because getting ahead is ultimately about survival. I'll step on you before you step on me. And so many of the examples that we've seen of so called spiritual or religious people has been corrupt. They've taken money. They've been molesters. They've lied to protect the church, and to defend themselves. So, this conflict between wanting to see ourselves as spiritual and feeling like we have to create the world around our needs makes it very difficult for us to even comprehend what spirituality is. And so I would like for you right now to not think about it and try to reconcile those contradictory things. I want you to just get very quiet and go inside and see if you can connect to the part of you that is connected to something greater than yourself. Pick some image or piece of music that feels transcendental to you. Something like, as I mentioned before, the ocean or some other vision of nature, the stars, some feeling you have in yourself, in your core, where you feel that vibration. And let's do that together for a moment, if you don't mind. Don't hang up in the meantime. I'm still here. and relax into it. And when you do, guess what happens? You can see more clearly because you're not feeling that conflict between your ego and who you think you're supposed to look like, which is still ego, by the way. And you're not overwhelmed by fear. You're in a deep place within yourself, within your soul, where something springs up. That drawing that you did when you were 12 years old, that piece of music that you sang spontaneously when you were walking in the forest. The recollection of the joy you felt the first time you saw a puppy. And say to yourself, that is spirituality. And connecting to that and feeling connected to that is where spiritual power comes from. From that place, there's no need to dominate. There is no need to make yourself safe from others. Because in that moment, you just feel that hum, that feeling of oneness. And no, you don't necessarily have to be in a meditation that takes you above the planets. You don't have to go back to ancient Mesopotamia. You can just be here, be with yourself, and feel your own inner strength. And there is nothing more important than your inner strength. And now I'm going to bring on what we call my friends, who are the other people who will be joining me for a few minutes to talk about this important topic. And first we have Todd.
Hi.
Hello, Todd. Lizzie.
Hello.
And James.
Hello.
That's interesting. I'm all big and the rest of you are small. I don't know how that happened. I don't know if that's what it looks like for you, but
It's not supposed to be that way. There we
there
go.
we go. Okay, great.
So,
Cool.
like to
Stacy
start.
just posted a comment. That was nice.
Oh, did she?
Yeah.
Oh, Stacy from Group With You. The first time I connected to from a group with me was the first time she connected to the oneness. Oh, I'm so happy to hear that, Stacy. That is beautiful. Thank you so much for sharing that. And I hope that you're connecting to it now. I know you've gone through hell, as have we all, one way or 10. But it's so helpful to connect to that place of inner strength and peace. So thank you for sharing that. Okay, so who would like to share next from that place of spiritual power that I'm hoping that you're feeling just by being connected to yourself?
I will.
I'll share. Okay, go ahead, Lizzie.
Lizzie and then Todd.
Well, I feel very relaxed and just very calm and peaceful. And it makes it feel like the things that are happening in this world and country, they're still painful, but somehow it feels, I don't, this is, I don't know if this is right, but almost like more of an inconvenience.
Oh, no, I understand exactly what you're saying. You don't feel overwhelmed by it.
Yeah.
That's what it is.
Yeah.
Oh, I love that. I love that.
And this is great. And it's like, I so wish I could just tap into this anytime.
Yeah, me too. Did the show help you to tap into it tonight, or were you already there?
Well, you helped us with previously.
Yeah.
That's helped, but you helped me get there again.
Today.
Yeah, on the show.
Stacy, who made that lovely comment about the first time I connected to the oneness was in a group with me, and then she said, "Thank you. You helped me get there. Such peace. I'm so glad that you're feeling that." And I understand exactly what you're saying. Even though people are suffering and there are insane things happening, when you look at it from that place of spiritual power and inner peace, you look at it from above. You don't feel dominated by it. And that's such an important point that you're bringing up. Thank you. Thank you. Todd.
Very similar. I'm wondering if, James, it might help if you muted. I hear a bit of an echo or something. I don't know where it's coming from, but
It might have been me. I'll mute.
Okay, thank you. I connected to an oak tree. Similar to Lizzie, it kind of brought me back because you helped us earlier and you help us do this. You have helped us. And it's just, I feel peaceful. I feel calm. It's like all those worries just kind of fall away. And I forget that I have an ego, and that's the thing that's so.
That's heaven. That is heaven.
Yeah. But that's the thing that's difficult is like you go off and you're in your life and then all of a sudden your ego's back because you're with people and, it's hard to sustain it for me to do that. I mean, I know just on Sunday we were working on this, but and I have thought about it and talked about it a bit since then, but it goes in and out. So I think this is a great reminder midweek and also a way to try and remember to just keep that presence. Like it's not so hard to do if we just put our attention on it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and
right?
we have one another's support too.
Yeah, right. In the larger collective.
Yeah, that's great. The groups that people are referring to, I am an intuitively guided counselor. And so as a counselor, I do individual sessions. And I also run a variety of groups. We have a Wednesday night group called Seeing Through New Glasses, which always comes after our Lighting the Way show. But that is something you have to register for. And we're having a retreat November, I think November 15th. People will be coming up to Oregon to do the retreat. And there's just a whole variety of things that we do. We have something called intuition training. So those are some of the groups. If anybody has any interest in any of that, you can just email me at bethgreen.org. Beth Green, as in Beth at green the color.org. And if you want any more information about that, I'm only mentioning this because it's come up and people might say, well, what are they talking about? I'm not trying to sell anybody on anything. If I try to sell you on it, then I'll get right out of peace. And that would just ruin my life. So what about you, James? Do you have anything you would like to share tonight?
Yes. When you guided us in that experience, I was struck by the word strength because I've spent much of my life aspiring to be spiritual, aspiring for higher consciousness. And so the idea of just being solidly in my strength is something I have not fully developed. And as a matter of fact, I've noticed that my ego tends to hijack my experiences on a regular basis. I'll have a high experience and then I'll think, hey, I'm hot stuff, And I've had spiritual teachers who were that way too. And the ego inflation often happens when a person or myself has a higher, heightened state of consciousness, and then the ego gets bigger and bigger and bigger. Like, oh, I'm God. I'm godlike now. So I have to keep coming back to the humility of I aspire, and it's wonderful when I can feel the spiritual strength. But I have to be on guard to not let my ego hijack the experience and puff up my ego.
Yeah, that's great. Well, I would say aspiring, of course, is the wrong word because that is ego. But just to have faith that you can connect to that place within you that derives its power from something greater than itself. If you're an alcoholic, you may be familiar with the AA program. You're using the word higher power. Some people use the word God. People from all kinds of spiritual belief systems do it. Some people use the universe as a term, but we all know what we're talking about. It's just that awe, that feeling of awe, and that we realize how pathetic all of this is down here and how messed up we are. And truly with compassion, realizing how traumatized most people are and how they are acting out of their trauma, which is why we can have compassion even for people who are doing destructive things. And we don't feel dominated by them because we are looking at them. We are looking at them from above, from a distance, from that place of compassion. So I think that may be kind of wrapping things up for tonight. Does anyone else have a comment before I do final comments?
Well, I loved how you defined spiritual power, and I think that's really important because I don't know, before I met you, I had a concept of what that meant, but it was more like the ego's version of spiritual power. I mean, I had been exposed to Buddhism in some way before I met you, but I don't think I really grokked it, if you will. That humility that James was talking about, that just pure feeling of connection and being part of everything. That's what helps me get there. But again, it's not easy to do it on a day-to-day basis
No.
consistently. I mean, it can do it part of every day, but so this is a great reminder. Thank you.
Well, I get knocked out of it too. I do, believe me. I try to pull myself together when I'm going to do a group because I don't want to give you the worst of me because then you already have a lot of that. You don't need that. So I try to do something that's helpful on the show, but boy, sometimes I have to pull myself out of the sewer 10 minutes before I come on here. So thank you.
Thanks for keeping it real.
Thank you. Oh yeah, and Stacy says, "Love, love, love intuition training. I still use it, letting the source lead me." That's wonderful, Stacy, and we're still doing intuition training. So if you want to rejoin us, just contact me at beth@bethgreen.org. You can't register for it directly anymore because it's already started, but I'm sure we would love to have you if you can make it. So we also do a program called Magical Improvs, and last week Todd had to do, a rerun because I was in bed and couldn't get to the piano. And I don't know what we're going to do tomorrow. We're going to make an I'm going to make an effort to get to one of the digital keyboards. And even if I have to pre-record it because my pain level goes way high at night. But we're hoping, and Stacy says thank you. We're hoping that we're going to have a brand new magical improv tomorrow night with the Kindred Spirits Band, which is James Maynard singing and me playing the keyboard. I'm dying to get back to my piano, if I could get to my piano, and I don't know how I'm going to go up 2 steps to get to my piano, but I'm going to do something. Either some musical instrument is going to come to me upstairs, or I'm going to get to it downstairs. So that's it. So that's 7 p.m. Pacific time on Thursday nights. Don't forget Magical Improv, and come back to Lighting the Way next Wednesday at 6:30 p.m. live on Facebook and YouTube. And please give us a like or a love or a thumbs up, whatever is appropriate. Follow us on Facebook and subscribe to our YouTube channel. It helps us because YouTube doesn't particularly like me. And so the more that you support this program, the more likely that their algorithm would say, oh, she's a nice girl. Let's try to give her a boost here. So anyway, so we always appreciate that. And we always appreciate you. And thank you so much for the lovely comments tonight. Be well and don't worry. We are going to get through this, and we're going to grow through it. And I keep clicking.